So how do you speak on stage with no fear? How do you get killer confidence to talk on stage and get your audience to love you? By the end of this video, you're going to be able to stand up on stage, talk to a whole load of strangers, look and feel confident, and most importantly, be loved by your audience. Hello friends, my name is Super Steph, aka Stephanie Lee-Harper, and I help people stand up on stage and talk in front of strangers, because that's what I do. I'm a small business owner that loves to find out how to make money doing small businesses, and my small business is children's party entertaining and magic shows for adults. Which means I'm on stage an awful lot of the time, usually about 6 times a week. And I know what it feels like to feel terrified when you're in front of a whole load of strangers, especially in those gala nights on stage in front of 200 adults and you've got to do a show. So if you're nervous about talking to a whole load of adults on stage, I'm going to show you what's going to help you. So you're on a stage and you hear another person talking to you, which sounds just like you. It's saying, "You're not very good at this, are you?"
What are you talking about? I think you just missed up there.
Have you got a booger up your nose? That's you trying to look at yourself through a mirror at the same time as speaking. It gets confusing. There's all this commotion going on in your head as you're inside yourself speaking out, but the other side is speaking back at you. And then you start listening to the voice inside your head, which stops you dead in your tracks. Does that sound like something that you do? Yeah. Now I can cure that for you, friend, because this is the insecurity in your brain and you need to cut it out. How do you cut it out? You can silence this part of your brain by practice. Practice, 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 practice. Practice, 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 practice. Now I know as well as you that we don't like practicing, but without the practicing, that little person is going to follow you on stage and is going to whisper into your ear, and you are going to end up looking like an idiot in front of all of those people. So you need to set time for practicing to get rid of that person so it withers away. You're talking nonsense. Is that a booger up your nose? They know you're a fake. If you end up practicing, you will squash that little person inside your brain, because that person feeds on your insecurity. And if you're good at what you do, they will vanish. Another top tip to squash that little person is when you're on a proper stage to make sure that you have the lights in your face and the audience not lit up. That way, all you see is a beautiful, shining blanket of light. It's like heaven. I'm going to heaven. You can't see squat. You can't see anyone from the 3rd row. Looks like you're talking to 20 people. And knowing it, your mum's probably in the front clapping you on. And another way to get rid of that little person in your ear is to make sure before you go on stage that you get rid of as much adrenaline as possible. You will get nervous. And so do some press-ups. Press-ups are great. Do some star jumps. Don't need to go to the gym now. My activity's up. You could do some running on the spot. Get that energy. About 10 minutes before your show, get it out. Now, how do you avoid the shakes when you're on stage? They can see it a mile off, and then as soon as you shake, you know that your concentration is actually on your hands, not on what you're speaking about. So you need to make sure to get rid of the wobbly wobblies. Again, it is the adrenaline trying to come in and annoy you and ruin your show. So you need to exercise, plain and simple. Some people doing this by having a stiff alcoholic drink. Just make sure you don't have too much. Instead of the alcoholic drink, go and get some exercise just before your show. It doesn't have to be anywhere, in the green room is fine. And do you know what this also means? This also means that you know that you're not confident enough in delivering your lines. You know as well as I know that we should have done a bit more practice, and that's coming out as the shaky wakies. So know your stuff when you are going up on stage. How do you know your stuff? Practice, even though it's boring. Now, if you like this video, just comment below and I will send you a PDF of some of the exercises that I recommend you do before you go on stage. Just comment below down there, give me the exercise guide, and I'll put it on for you. Now, how do you get the audience in front of you to like you and pay attention to you when you are on stage? Well, you have to include the whole audience, not just the people in front, and you include them by eye contact. Now, how do you include the eye contact in front of 500 sets of eyeballs? You need to do something which is scanning and focusing. So this is scanning. Hello everyone, I'm going to do... That's scanning when you're just not even looking at anybody. This does not work. It only works if you actually pinpoint people out. For example, me and you are actually we're actually looking at each other right now. But when we do it in front of an audience, we have to pick. I'm going to pick Johnny there in the yellow and red shirt, then I'm going to scan across, I'm going to pick Lola there in the orange and pink dress, and I'm going to pick over there to Jonathan over there. And what I'm going to do, I'm doing this all the way across, then sometimes I'll look over here, or sometimes I'll look over here, but I'm actually looking at real people. I'm looking at real people because the other people, psychologically, they'll be thinking, she's going to look at me in a minute, she's going to look at me, better not start picking my nose. They will keep their eyes on you. Make eye contact across the room, but also at the back of the room. Just don't focus on the people in front, because those people at the back, you don't want them messaging, getting bored. Boring. So even if you can't see them, just focus your eyeballs on somewhere around there, and it will look like that you're chatting to that person. Now remember Goldilocks with the not too hot, not too cold? This is the same thing. Don't scan too fast, too slow. You've got to pace it. So you look, chat, 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 look again over here, chat, 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 and over here, chat, chat, chat. Sometimes you can mix it up a bit, but it has to follow the energy of the speech. For example, you're doing a long, drawn-out speech, your grandma died, and you're talking about your life story, then it gets a lot slower. If you're talking about a fun part and you're saying a joke, you can scan a lot faster. So the energy has to match your eye gaze. And crack jokes. Everybody likes a joke. The best jokes are the ones of the current situation. If you've had food and it's been awful, you say something like, oh, just had the food today. It tasted a lot better outside in the buckets. When you're on stage, there is an invisible fourth wall. It's actually called the fourth wall. It feels like the wall between the reality and the fictitious side. Now, when you're a speaker, cut down that fourth wall. Speak to the audience. You're not expecting them to speak back, because then it gets a bit mixy. You'll have hecklers. Oh, you, get off the stage. What about this? But definitely encourage your audience to feel like they're being pulled up onto the stage just by your gestures. I love you. And by the way that you are speaking to them directly, individually, even if it's a massive 500 people. If you like these tips, just hit like and subscribe, and I'll keep wasting my time making them for people that I don't even know are going to show up. So what introduction should you have when you're just about to go up on stage to gain the confidence of your audience? First of all, you need an introduction that highlights your career path, but only specifically for that audience. For example, if I'm talking on stage about small businesses and how to grow the small business, I'm not going to be putting about my kids award, because nobody cares. Your introduction before you go on stage should only highlight the things that are important to your audience in front of you, and that changes every single time. And I recommend making an intro with light humour, because the more they're laughing, the more they will be with you. Everybody likes a friend that makes them laugh. When you mess up, they're more likely to go along with you for the journey rather than think, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. Now, how do you get better at speaking publicly on stage? Remember when you first learnt to ride your bike and it was all wobbly? Daddy, don't let go. Sometimes you'll be up on stage and it'll feel like that. You'll start to feel wobbly right at the very start. It'll come out in your hands, it'll come out in your voice by sort of vibrations. You'll hear it cracking. Hello everybody. Now, to get rid of that, you have to tread the boards. What is tread the boards? In 1961, the phrase tread the boards came about. And it's basically the wooden boards in the theatre and how you tread the boards. Now, actors know the longer you tread the boards, the better you will be as an actor. In general, I think John Malkovich is a bit rubbish and he's been around for decades. What it means is you need to make sure that you are up speaking publicly on stage. Have you seen my past videos? They are absolutely atrocious. This one's probably still pants. but I will get better as long as I keep treading the boards. It doesn't mean I have to go down the local drama club. I can just do it here with you guys in my living room. And if you don't have a place where you can keep going up on stage, you need to create one. There are lots of places which have like a Toastmasters group or debating group in your area. So I recommend that you go there and you try out in front of your peers, because really, honestly, if you've got 10 people in front of you, it's literally like speaking to 1,000 people. I don't know actually if that's true. I've only spoken to about 500 tops. But 10 people and 500, it's the same. It's the same. In fact, it's even easier when there's more. In order to get really good on stage, practice not only your speech, but also your gestures. Your gestures have to be an extension of whatever you're saying at the same time. Hello, how are you today? I'm having a wonderful time. Does that gain confidence and trust to you? Not me. Now, audience can smell a fake a mile away. We've seen so many on TikTok where they're just multi-millionaire teenagers who've hired out a Lamborghini for the afternoon, pretending that they're all that. We can smell it. That smells like lies. So you have to come across as being real. And they can also see it if you have not practiced your gestures, because if your gestures don't link, then it'll come across as fake. To make sure that your audience sees you as a real person with something to say, then you've got to say it in your own voice. Don't try to sound push or smarter than you actually are. So just speak like you normally do, but clean up your speech. This means no ums, no ers, no swearing, because the clarity of your message comes not only from your voice and your speaking, but actually what you're saying at the same time. And entice them in to see you on stage by gesturing towards them and showing that you are confident in what you're saying, so they should be too. Now, if you liked my take on how to be confident on stage, then check this one out, which is what I do to refund clients in my small business. Up there. Thanks, friends. Bye.